Warriors, welcome back to the video. If you're new here, thanks for giving us a shot. My name's AC Stinson, and I've endured years of chronic illness, 2 massive surgeries that have changed the trajectory of my life. And now I'm in building mode, or maybe I should say rebuilding mode. I'm rebuilding my fitness, my body. I'm building multiple businesses, and I am sharing the journey with you. We have got our eyes locked on a 50-mile ultra marathon, but right now, I can't even run. So in today's video, I want to talk about how I'm training when I can't run and the necessity of endurance. I think it's a character trait that's undervalued. I think if any of us want to do something great with our life, we must have endurance. I've experienced it in my own life. Let's get after it. There's been a lot of places and a lot of times that I've learned about endurance over the course of my life, but right here in this bathtub, in fact, this is my kids' bathroom, in their bathtub, has taught me more than almost any other place. See, when I was sick for several years, but there was a stretch of time for about 12 to 18 months where it was really bad. I barely slept at night. I probably got 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night. Every time I moved, I would have to run to go to the bathroom. And I was miserable, in pain, tired. And so I got to a point where I would go and take a bath, maybe even 2 baths every night. And I'm just like every other guy. I can't tell you the last time I've ever taken a bath. I always just take a shower. But a bath was warm, it was soothing, and it just helped distract me just enough. So right here in this bathtub, I would take the lights and it would be dark in here and it would just be me and my thoughts. And there were a lot of times where I would sit here and I would think about other challenges I had put myself through. The most specific and the most reoccurring one was my triathlon days. I would think about the half Ironman that I had completed and how I had completed it with a hurt knee. And I would, during that run to finish the Ironman, I just kept thinking, one more step. You're in pain, you're tired, you're exhausted, but just one more step. And then one more step. And I would think about that because it required a lot of endurance through pain, through hardship, when you were tired. And I was feeling those exact same things through this health journey. And so I would think about how I had completed that and I had endured that suffering and that I could too endure this suffering. And I would tell myself, one more hour. Just get through one more hour. This hour's miserable. Get through it and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And that's exactly what I did for months and months and months until finally I had to have, massive surgery and that provided some relief. But I would think about those days, about the chosen suffering that I had put myself through, that had prepared me for this unchosen suffering. I didn't choose this suffering, but the test that I had decided to put myself through, it developed the physical, the mental fortitude, the strength, the endurance to get through this time. And I would also think about my faith and how in your faith, endurance is so important. During your faith walk, when you follow Jesus, he doesn't promise you that everything's always going to be easy. In fact, he promises that there's going to be challenges and trials. I think there's 2 specific verses I want to share. The first is in James chapter 1. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." So are we supposed to just smile when life gets hard? Is that what they're talking about? No, it's not. But what it is saying is that when you're going through a hard time, you can have this internal joy because you know that if you submit it, and that's a big if, but if you submit your pain to the Lord, he can build perseverance in you. Your faith can produce perseverance. It can produce something. So don't let your pain go without paying you. Your pain should always pay you. So if you submit it to the Lord, he's going to do something with it. That may not mean you are materially blessed, which is what a lot of Americans think, right? But it's going to do something in you. It's going to provide more faith, endurance. It's going to provide and make you more look like Jesus. The other one that sticks out to me, the other verse that I'll share, is Romans 5, verse 3. It says, not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit. So suffering produces endurance. Now you have to choose to endure. And you have to choose to cling to the Lord. But if you choose to do that, it's going to produce endurance, which produces character. And we all want more character. So I want you to see that there's a decision there. When you're in the middle of it, you have a choice. Am I going to continue to put one foot in front of the other? Am I going to fight one more hour? Am I just going to continue to endure? Because if you do, it produces something. It will pay you. But it's a choice. Choose the right choice. One of the things that I love most about endurance is it helps you in almost every aspect of life. Right now, as I'm starting this business, Armor Bands, it's challenging. I thought we might be going live in March, and then it got pushed back to June or July, and now it's probably going to be September or October. And you know, it's a lot of time to keep investing money and energy before you see any return, or before you even see if the idea is going to work. But what I've learned in other areas of my life is that you have to be consistent and you have to endure. And once again, going back to that Hormozi quote, every time there's tension, every time it gets hard, most other people in your shoes are quitting. So if you can just endure that pain, if you can go a little bit further, then you're taking yourself up another step. The bar for success has never been lower, because people have no endurance. They have no mental toughness. So if you can build that endurance and that mental toughness, man, it applies to every aspect of life. Your family, your business, you're going to be a better person. So the goal is to run a 50-mile ultramarathon in 2026 or in 2027. A lot depends on an injury, but regardless, why is that the goal? Well, I love endurance events. I love the triathlons and the Ironman I've done, and I'm looking forward to this, because when you're in the middle of the race, the question going through your mind is, can I finish? Can I finish the race? Can I endure? Can I get through this? And what I've found and what I've realized is that those chosen periods of suffering prepare you for the unchosen seasons of suffering. What do I mean by that? When you choose to test yourself, when you choose to go run a marathon or do something hard in life, when you choose to do it, you put yourself in a position of being uncomfortable. You put yourself in a position to grow. And what happens is you grow mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You grow, and it prepares you for those periods of time where you don't choose to suffer, when life just brings suffering on you, and you're mentally, spiritually, and emotionally stronger and more prepared for it. Chosen suffering prepares you for unchosen suffering. That's what I found when I was sick. I could look back on the periods of my life that I chose to suffer, when I chose to do something hard, and that prepared me for that moment. I didn't know I was going to be sick for 2 years. I didn't know what I was going to go through, but those times where I chose to do something hard and push myself, I'm sure glad I did, because it prepared me. So that's the same thing with this ultra marathon. Is I love those moments where it's hard, when it's really hard, and you're choosing in your mind, am I going to finish? Can I endure? And you test yourself and you unlock something mentally. I would rather be consistently good than occasionally great. I just want to endure. All right, so I want to do this ultra marathon, but the problem is right now I can't run. My knee is giving me problems. I am heading to 2 different doctors to get opinions and to see what they think. But you still have to prepare. So how am I preparing for that moment when I can finally start running again? Well, the first thing I'm doing is prioritizing strength training. I'm doing 2 push days a week, 2 pull days a week, 1 leg day. And when I do legs, I'm being very mindful of my knee, and I'm trying to do things that are safe and healthy, and I'm building a strong foundation for my knee. But that could change when I see the doctor. But 2 push days, 2 pull days, a leg day. And then I'm doing obviously several days of core and abs, but what I'm doing right here is something that's unsexy, that's not attractive, but I'm on the treadmill walking. I put the treadmill at a steep incline and I walk for 30 minutes. The first 10 minutes is just me walking at a pretty good pace. And then the second 10 minutes, I put a 40-pound sandbag. Let me get it. I take this sandbag that's 40 pounds. I put it over my back and I carry it. And that gets the heart rate pumping even further. And then for the last 10 minutes, I pick up 2 kettlebells. I put 20 pounds in each hand, so a 20-pound kettlebell in each hand, and I walk with it. And I can't put it down, right? So your shoulders, you're strengthening your forearms and your wrists, and you're getting your heart rate up. My heart rate's in the 160s, 170s for most of that walk. So it goes back to what Chris Carter said. I choose to do today what others won't. So I do today what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't, right? Like I can't run right now, but when that day comes, I will be prepared for it. I'm not gonna just be lazy. I'm gonna have a good cardiovascular base, a good cardio foundation for that day. So prepare yourself today what you're gonna experience tomorrow, even if it's unsexy and unattractive. Most people aren't gonna hop on the treadmill and walk 30 minutes, but you are, but I am. Let's get after it. I'll be honest, I have not wanted to create this YouTube video this week. I had a plan for what I was gonna record, when I was gonna do it, and I just get discouraged, you know? When things don't happen as quick as you want them to, right? You don't have too many YouTube subscribers, you're not getting a lot of views, so that motivation isn't really there, right? We all like instant gratification, positive feedback, you know, and the more, the better. But I know if I'm gonna be successful, I'm gonna have to go through a long period where I just endure not much success. And I had this epiphany. I remembered this quote by Alex Hormozy where he says, when things get harder, it makes me happier because I know that most people will quit. So no, I know there's a lot of people that want to create a business, maybe even the business I'm creating, or people want to create a YouTube page, but they quit because it takes longer, they don't see feedback, it takes a long time to gain traction and subscribers and customers and all the things, so we quit. I've done it, you've done it, we all do it. So I just reminded myself, you know what? It's good that it's getting hard because I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep consistently showing up for as long as it takes. I'll learn from my mistakes. I'll get a little bit better every week, even if I don't see the progress in the subscribers or the views. I'm gonna keep going. Consistency and endurance, they go hand in hand. But if we want to build something of significance, it's going to take a lot of endurance. It's Wednesday morning. Right now I'm doing a pull day, doing some arms, some back. I need to sneak in some legs today just to get back on track this week, but that's the goal. I'm also trying to sneak in 2 ab workouts per week. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Regrip. 10, 11, 12. All right. That was my 4th set of deadlift. I'm trying to go to failure on my 4th set, my 3rd and 4th set of every session right now. So now I hit some decline curls. One, 2, going to failure, 3, 5, 8, 10, 12. All right, so if you've never done incline curls, the goal, the idea is you get a really long stretch when you're at the bottom, and that's where the tension is. So you get a long stretch, high tension. You can't do as much weight on that as you would a typical curl or hammer curl, but it fries you. It definitely fries you. So that's deadlift, incline, curl. I've already done barbell rows. I've already done traditional curls. Gonna wrap up, hit a little legs. All right, pull day and leg day is done. Now I'm inside with the kiddos, making some sausage, making some breakfast. Gotta make breakfast, get a shower, go to work. Be back at 4:30 or 5.